Hello everyone, welcome back to TechLearn TV. If you want to learn Linux, DevOps, cybersecurity, cloud computing, the very first operating system you should install is Ubuntu. In this video, I will explain you pros and cons of Ubuntu, where it gets used in real IT jobs, and then I will show you step by step how to install Ubuntu on a virtual machine. So let's welcome Ubuntu. So we are the Ubuntu website and it is managed by Canonical. Canonical is the company that manage Ubuntu releases, and the current release is 26.4. LTS means, you will see this term LTS, it means long-term support. It comes with by default long-term support of 5 years, so each version is still supported by the community Canonical for the next 5 years at least. Okay, so that's one thing. So why Ubuntu is famous? So Ubuntu is famous because it comes with multiple products. So if you'll click on products and you will see operating system, it will give you multiple operating system: Ubuntu desktop, Ubuntu server, Ubuntu Pro, Ubuntu Core, and whatnot. So you have multiple options of Ubuntu as an operating system. Now, why it is popular? Because it's easy to use. Consider it like you are a first-time user. If you will install a server will not have any graphical user interface. Server will only have terminal. And I understand if you are someone who wants to learn Linux, who haven't come across a terminal environment, you've been using Windows all the time or you've been using Mac all the time, you're not that familiar with terminal. So whenever you see a black screen and all the text and commands, you get confused. So in order to get comfortable, what you can do, you can install a desktop version. This is what we're going to do in this video, because the purpose of making this video is to serve beginners, to serve who wants to learn Linux from the scratch, or probably they want to understand how to install Ubuntu for the first time, and going through all the commands, just the command line, it's going to be confusing. So I will install desktop version, but still, even if you install a desktop version, you can enable and install all the server packages in the desktop, wherein you can use graphical user interface, and you can still use the all the command line that will be required to do all the server level thing. So what it gives you, what it enables you with a very easy graphical user interface. Along with that, you can get comfortable by time on a terminal. So that's what the benefit here is in Ubuntu. So what I'm going to do, I will download Ubuntu desktop. So I'll click on it, and so here we are at the Ubuntu download page, and gives you different options to download: desktop, server, WSL, core, and cloud, whatnot. So we're going to download desktop. I'll stick to desktop, and it gives you detail. The version name Ubuntu 26.4, LTS long-term support. So let's see the latest LTS version of Ubuntu for desktop, PC, laptop. LTS stands for long-time support, which means 5 years for free security and maintenance. Updates extended up to 15 years with Ubuntu Pro. So for the 5 years, it's free of cost, and if you still want support beyond 5 years, then it will require Pro. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do, I will download the Ubuntu ISO, and you can choose the version according to your system type, whether it's Intel, AMD, or ARM. I'm going to download ARM architecture. That's what I have. So it has started the download, and it will take time according to my internet speed. The download has been completed. I have the Ubuntu ISO. Now, in order to install it, I will use a virtual machine. Okay, and I will use a hypervisor called VirtualBox. So it's an application. It's a very small application, and it's open source. Just like Ubuntu, it doesn't cost you anything. It's free of cost, so you can download it regardless of your operating system, whether you're using a Windows machine or Linux machine or a Mac machine. You can choose the kind of you can choose the package according to your operating system, and you can download. So I assume like most of the users are using Windows, so you can download the Windows package. Just 170 MB of this application is there. Installation is simple, just accept the terms and next, and you would be able to install it anyways. So consider it you have it installed on your computer. Okay, install it first, then come back to this video and follow the rest of the steps. Now I will open the VirtualBox. So VirtualBox, I'll open it. So currently it doesn't have any other virtual machine created. I'll create a virtual machine now. I'll click on new and I'll name this virtual machine as Ubuntu VM. Also, you need to provide the path where you want to save all the virtual machine files. So I have selected one of the location. Also, I have given the location where the ISO file is placed. Navigate to the location where the ISO file is placed, and then I'll skip the unattended installation and I'll click on next. And I will give 4 GB of RAM. So 4 GB of RAM I'll give, and I'll give 4 processor to this virtual machine, and I'll click on next. So I've given 50 GB of the space, and do not click on pre-allocate full size, otherwise what it will do, it will start consuming 50 GB of the space from your computer's hard drive. If you keep it unchecked, it will not start consuming 50 GB as of now. It will only consume that amount of space, the amount of data is present in the virtual machine. Let's say, like, a virtual machine gets installed and initially it just consumes somewhere around 5 to 10 GB. So it will only consume 5 to 10 GB from your PC hard drive. But if you just click on pre-allocate full size, it will block that 50 GB. It will show that 50 GB from your hard drive that it is getting used somewhere right now. So I'll keep it unchecked and I'll click next. And now it is giving me all the information that I've entered so far. So I'll click on finish. And here we have our virtual machine. So currently it's powered off. You can see the status. And what I'll do, I'll click on start. And it is powering on this virtual machine for the very first time. So boot from the next volume, try install Ubuntu. Now what I'm going to do, it's like I'll click on try or install Ubuntu. You can navigate up and down by the arrow keys of your keyboard. And I will click on try and install Ubuntu by pressing enter key. And once I press enter, let's see what is the next screen it's going to show. Okay, as you can see, it has launched the desktop of Ubuntu. So preparing for Ubuntu. Now at the background, what you see, so right now the Ubuntu hasn't installed. In the background, it's just giving you the user interface, how it looks like. It has a browser, all these applications, it has LibreOffice. You can open the applications without even installing Ubuntu. It's just like, playing a CD. Okay, so basically it's just giving you a user experience, how the graphical user interface looks like. And let's proceed with the installation. So you see on the screen, it's asking you to choose the language. I'll choose English and I'll do next. So it's basically asking for permission, accessibility, and Ubuntu, this and that. I'll just click on next. And again, it's asking me to select your keyboard layout. I have English US, so I'll just keep it the way it is, and I'll click on next. So in this screen, it's telling you to connect to internet. I'll just keep it use wired connection. So I'm not going to connect wired connection to the virtual machine. However, this virtual machine will think it is widely connected with my PC. Okay, so I'll just click on next, and it's telling me to install Ubuntu or try Ubuntu. I'm going to click on install Ubuntu. So I'll click on next. In this screen, it's giving you 3 options how to install Ubuntu. Either you can do the interactive installation, which is a regular installation that we do, automated with auto install file. So for this, you need a YAML file. We're not going to do that. Likewise, it's more or less automation with automated with landscape. So the option that we are going to choose in order to install it will be interactive installation, and I'll click on next. And what apps would you like to install to start with? Default selection, extended selection. And so I'll click on the extended selection and see what all options does it give. Install recommended proprietary software. Ubuntu ships with no proprietary software by default. Installing additional software may improve computer performance. Install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware, including but not limited to NVIDIA driver and similar. So it will bring up a lot of drivers. It will download a lot of drivers, and it will improve the compatibility and user experience and make things more compatible. Likewise, it's telling you to download and install support for additional media format, including but not limited to MP3, MP4, MOV and similar. So it's going to bring up more stuff as well. So I'll just keep them checked. So you want to keep them checked in order to make it work for day-to-day activity as well. And now, how would you like to install Ubuntu? Erase disk and install Ubuntu, or manual installation? So I would rather say, like, if you're a first-time user, go ahead and just choose this option, erase disk and install Ubuntu. One more thing, like, if you're installing Ubuntu on a physical drive, and if you're using a pen drive, if you have made that bootable pen drive of that ISO, in that case, and if you're trying to connect to a physical computer, if you will choose this option, erase disk and install Ubuntu, what it will do, it will actually format the existing operating system in that computer. Also, like, if you have existing operating system in that computer, it will give you a third option in that case, and it will tell you to run alongside with the existing operating system, like Windows or something of that sort. So make sure if you're trying to install on a physical computer, just make sure to select that. Do not select this option until you actually want to format that drive. Okay. So, but in this case, in this 50 gigs of the hard drive, there is nothing installed. There is nothing pre-existing anything. So I'll just go ahead and erase disk and install Ubuntu on this one, and I'll click on next. And encryption and file system. So it's completely up to you. No encryption, whether you want to select or encrypt with the passphrase. So it's something to do with the, with the cybersecurity stuff. So it will make your file system more secure. So I'll just leave it the way it is. I'm not going to select anything, but you can choose it. You can experiment with the things as you go, as you get comfortable. So I'll just select no encryption and file system. So I'll just keep it like no encryption at all. And now it's asking me to give the name, create an account basically for this. So I'll just give my first name, Kamal, and I'll give the computer name as Tech Learn TV, and I'll just give my name, and I'll enter my top secret password. So once again, I'll enter the same password and require my password for login. And also the good part with Ubuntu, it can get configured along with your Active Directory. So consider, like, if you have an Active Directory, and if you want to enroll this machine as a client PC, as a client or member server, you can do that. I'll cover that practicals in some other video, but I'll just go ahead and click next. And now it's asking me for the geolocation for time zone. I'll click on India, and it will automatically pick up the time zone. I'll click next, and now it's showing me all the options that I've selected. I'll just review it, and I'll just click on next. Now, installation may take time depending on the configuration that you have assigned to the virtual machine. Installation has been completed, and let's restart now this Ubuntu virtual machine. I've clicked on restart now. Virtual machine is restarting right now, but if you find this video informative, like it, subscribe to my channel, and comment to this video. Let's see. So finally we are at the login screen, and I will enter my password, which I get. This is how Ubuntu desktop looks like. Okay, it has a just like in Windows, you have that Windows icon. Likewise, you have Ubuntu icon. If you click on it, it will open up the installed apps and settings, just like in a control panel in Windows. So it's similar to control panel in Windows, what is setting over here. Also, whenever you install any other operating system, whether it's a Windows or Linux, or especially in Linux, what we do, it's like we update the operating system, we update the packages for that operating system. So what we're going to do, it's like we will update the packages, and in order to do that, there are two ways. How I usually do, or how you will usually do, as you will gain experience by command line interface. But this video is for beginners, for the first timers. So I'm going to show you a graphical user interface, which makes it easy to install updates. So if you'll type update in the search, you will find this icon, software. Okay, so software update, you'll click on it, and it will start to find what other updates are pending. So it's telling you these are the packages that requires update. So it gives you multiple kernel, header, this and that, and I'll install it now. So I'll let it install. And the good part about Linux, whenever you try to install or uninstall anything, it will ask for your credentials. It will ask for your username and password. So that's the reason it is secure compared to Windows. So I will let it install. Also, just like in Windows, you have a Microsoft Store. In MacBook, you have Apple Store. Likewise, over here, you have App Center. Okay, so you get the App Center wherein you can find, if you want to install any of the application, you can install these application. The names of the application are going to be new for you, just because these are specific for Ubuntu, specific for Linux. For each application, the description is provided, like Kubernetes for workstation and appliances. This is the application name micro K8s. And after watching this video, I hope you understand what is Ubuntu, where it is getting used, what is the purpose of it, and how to install it. If you want to learn more about Linux, how to use Linux with command line, you can type Linux in the comments. And if you find this video informative, like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.